wrapping up the week with an L for his defense. Yay! Hello, my fam. It is Perez, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and your number one source for everything Diddy drama. I already made a video about what happened in court today from earlier. Watch that to be fully caught up. Before we resume the testimony of his former assistant and alleged drug mule, an update. There was some drama over juror number 7. His lawyers submitted a defense application. In a trial, a juror defense application is when a defendant's lawyer requests to have a juror excused from the jury. Why did he want the juror kicked off? Initially, we were led to believe it was regarding communications with a former colleague about his juror service. Allegedly. Now we're hearing, though, that the juror got a text from an unknown number asking if he was a juror on the case. The judge said he questioned juror number 7 and decided to keep him on the jury. The defense application has been denied. Speaking of the jury, today they heard about K-pop. No, not the musical genre. His former assistant, Brendan Paul, said amongst all the other substances that he would buy for Diddy, he bought K-lollipops. Keta, mean lollipops. I didn't even know that was a thing. This poor kid. Diddy would sometimes contact him during a Wild King night, aka a freak-off, via audio message or FaceTime. Can you imagine having to deal with this guy normally, but then having to deal with him when he is high out of his mind? The jury saw photos of outfits from a sex shop that Paul sent to Diddy. Paul testified that Diddy had asked him to run to the store while he was with Jane. But Diddy never responded after Paul sent the picture of the outfits. When Paul was arrested for drug possession last year, when they were boarding Diddy's private plane, he said he refused to tell authorities why he was carrying those drugs. Even though they were not his, Paul said he didn't give up any names. When the prosecutor asked why he initially was not helpful to law enforcement, Brendan said, loyalty. Today, however, the prosecutor, Christy Slavic, explicitly asked Brendan whose drugs they were. He said, Diddy's. And then it was time for the defense to cross-examine the witness. You were not some drug mule, am I right? Brian Steele asked. Paul responded, absolutely not. Asked by Steele what he understood a drug mule to be, he said, someone who traffics kilos and kilos across the world. I think you were a drug mule. Steele then asked if the amount of drugs Diddy used was minimal. This was just personal use, he asked, to which Paul responded, yes, that was my understanding. Asked if he ever observed Jane being hesitant or apprehensive before a freak-off, Paul responded, no. She was a willing participant. You would never work for a criminal, would you? Absolutely not, said Paul. You never thought the King night involved anything that was criminal, Steele pushed. He said no. He said no criminal enterprise. Paul said no. Paul said that getting drugs for Diddy was a minor part of his job. Diddy's mom, Janice, was in court today, as well as his son, Justin, hearing all of this lovely testimony. Despite everything, Brendan says that working for Diddy was a good experience for the most part. When asked how he feels about Combs, Paul did not have a quick and definitive response. He said, "It's complicated." And that was a wrap on the former assistant, maybe drug mule. The jury then saw text messages between Diddy and Cassie, his ex-girlfriend. In one message from March of 2017, Cassie told him, "You beat my head in." Diddy responded saying, "You flipping on me or what?" Cassie shot back, "No, I just don't want to be beat down for being defiant or ever. You treat me and make me feel like I don't matter." "You started all of this," Diddy wrote back. Cassie responded, "I guess I'm not down with abuse. It doesn't make sense to me." She added, "You hit me in my head 2 good times. That didn't make me feel good. I know I'm not crazy." His response, "I'm hurt. You have disrespected me so much in the last 12 months. You think you talking to one of your little F-boys?" he told her. "They can have you with that shh. I'm not talking no more." Another day in March of 2017, Cassie texted Diddy, "You treat me like a hooker." Special Agent Joseph Cerciello of Homeland Security was walking the jury through all of these text messages. There were a lot. A few months later, in May of 2017, Cassie told Diddy she didn't deserve to be beaten by him. "That's not love, that's possession." She told him that as soon as you get effed up, you drag me down the hall by my hair. Cassie also told him, "I was scared of your rage. I talk out of line sometimes and I do apologize, but that doesn't mean I don't love you, and your love shouldn't equate to what you do for me. Physicalities, abuse, take it somewhere else." His response, "You're whack. And I know and everyone knows you were acting like a little B to the I to the T to the C to the H, B." The special agent testified that he reviewed documents related to a hotel stay in January of 2023. He was charged $3,750 for damaged furniture. A report from the hotel said there were bodily fluids stained on the wood floor across the entire room and on some of the furniture. Another record from a hotel stay in December of 2021 showed a bill for $6,000 for damages that he caused. More damages in April of 2023. A note from the hotel said, "Room 917, linens and smoking in room. Linens soaked in baby oil on carpet, as well as evidence of smoking in the room." A no-no. That was a wrap on the special agent, but he will be back on Monday. The prosecution is expected to wrap their case then. If that is the case, his lawyers told the judge today that they might be able to wrap their case Tuesday or Wednesday. That means closing arguments might begin Thursday, Judge Subramanian said. He instructed the jury not to discuss the case with anyone or read anything about it. He also ordered prosecutors and defense attorneys to begin preparations for deliberations. He wants the government to prepare a laptop with exhibits and for both sides to confer on potential redactions from the transcript of testimony jurors want to hear again. Whew, we are getting to the finish line. We covered a lot of ground in this video. Let's discuss everything in the comments section. And of course, I will see you on Monday because I am Perez, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and your #1 source for everything Diddy drama. See you in the comments section.